All right, welcome back, guys. If you're for those of you that have been following along, you know that my last video I had gotten my Verus AOS air oil separator mounted, and I needed to get it plumbed up. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything I did to run all the lines for that air oil separator. Just to give you a rundown of what happens or what's in this video. Just to give you a heads up on what you're going to see. Basically, I had to pull the supercharger out. So this had to come off, which meant I had to pull the battery and the air box and the ECU and all of that out and unhook everything. Pull the supercharger out, and then I ran from the crankcase and the bottom of the supercharger, ran a couple lines over. And then I ran two new lines, one from the valve cover over and another one from the intake tube here. So yeah, all in all, it's a pretty simple install. So yeah, we'll get into it. I'll show you exactly what I did. Now for the fun part, I gotta get that bracket on the bottom of the supercharger unbolted. Once that's loose, that can come off. So that's just these bolts around here, and this will pop right off. And with that out of the way, well, once that's off, then I can get to the hose, the crankcase vent hose underneath. One. Shit. It's out, but it's laying on the undercarriage tray under the bottom of the motor. Might be able to get it with a magnet. Supercharger's loose. I gotta get it out of there, but that's really kind of a two-person job. It's kind of bulky, a little bit heavy, in an awkward position, and I've got to get to the crankcase hose back there on the bottom of it, and I need another set of hands to do that. So I'm going to stop here and recruit some help, and we'll pick it back up at that point. No, I'm wrong. This guy runs to the engine block. So I downloaded the PDF. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. But there's a decent PDF that tries to show you where things go. And the website had another view that was helpful. Yeah. So if you go out to Verus Engineering, the website had a picture that shows you which line goes to where. So block PVC, this is the line I'm hooking up right now. I guess I should also mention I ran out to AutoZone here and just grabbed some bulk 3/8 inch fuel line to use because you know, with this being on the opposite side of the motor from where it's supposed to go, I don't believe they included enough fuel line in the package to plumb everything up. So let me show you. So this one needs to hook up right here. So this is the bottom and the back side of the supercharger up against the block. So that really doesn't need to go that far. Alright, so the last little thing I want to do before this goes back in the car, I've been talking to Brian at Fab9, and he had mentioned he'd mentioned one of the threads on Miata.net. There's a hardware tweak you can make to the supercharger that works well with his tune. So I messaged him and asked for a little bit more information on that. And what he told me is basically there's a little restrictor pill in this line that's feeding the bypass valve, right? And so basically just pull this line off and pull that restrictor pill out of this line, and from what he's saying, that will let the supercharger build boost a lot faster when using his tune. So I'm gonna pull this line off and get that little restrictor pill out of there, and then put it back together. Should be pretty easy. Alright, so yeah, we'll just pull this line off. I'm going to pull both ends off, just make it easier to work with. So yeah, there it is. So I don't know if you can see that, but right in there is a little restrictor. So I'm going to try and get that out of there without destroying the hose. I might have to shorten it up a little bit. I don't think that'll be a problem. Let's see if we run that hose a little bit shorter. Yeah, we can cut a little bit off of that without any problem. There's extra. That's it. That's all it is. You can see it just restricts. I think this is a vacuum line, runs on vacuum, so restricting the flow. Pull that out of there, and that's it. 2 minutes of work for more boost. Well, faster boost. Okay, we're back at it again today. Got a little bit more done. So I'm at a point now where I need to get the supercharger back in place. And I really want to have another set of hands when I do that. I got it out yesterday on my own. I don't think I got that on video. But it is kind of a bear. And again, it's just big, it's awkward. You know, and it's a tight fit. So I gotta wait on a buddy of mine to come over here to give me another set of hands, and we'll get that put back in. But everything's looking pretty good. Oh, nothing's rubbing down here. Got all that cleaned up, and I think I went over this yesterday. I got the crankcase vent line run from the block up and around and over, and I've got it temporarily zip tied in place. I'm probably going to shorten this up a little bit more, but then that runs on here. I got to run another line, and I'm going to wait and do that when the supercharger's back in, because I've already got the line on the supercharger. So I'll trim that to length once the blower's back in place. But that'll run here, and then I've got a line running from the intake over here. It looks like it needs tightened up a little bit more, still a little loose. But that's just running down here, and I'll try and hide that, tidy that up a little bit more as I put things back together. But that's the gist of it. And so my hope is that these extra hoses really aren't that noticeable once everything's all done and put away. So yeah, I'm going to stop it here for now, and then we're going to get the blower put in place and get this thing put back together. And then maybe I can finally be done tearing this motor apart. No, that's a lie, because as soon as I get that done, then the next project I'm going to peel the valve cover off and paint that and get that cleaned up. That'll have to wait till the weather warms up a little bit more. It's too cold to do any painting right now.
Oh, there we are. Get
There
a
it
hold of
goes.
it. Yep, it was that hose. Sweet.
All right. I just got an hour of reassembly. And I can try.
Actually, that went better, I think, than the first time. Still had the same gap issue, but it was a little bit different.
Yeah, it's those damn hoses.
Yeah.
Bypass valve hoses.
What are you gonna do though?
Yeah. Now the next thing is getting those the bottom bracket bolts in. If I can get those in snugged up, it's piece of cake in there. Well, there's my check engine light. Forgot to plug that in. So that's an easy fix. Just got to get it plugged in. Okay, got that fixed. T-map sensor plugs in right back there. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I'm not flipping you off or anything, but yeah, T-map sensor plugs in right back there. I just forgot to plug it back in, so not too bad. I had to pop the airbox cover off in the intake tube and get that plugged back in. So button this back up and we'll try it again. Let's try this again. No check engine light. It's cold and revving at about 2 grand in neutral. That's pretty typical. And it'll drop down here in a second once it warms up. There we go. Okay, now the wife wants me to run to the store and pick up a couple things for her, so that sounds like a perfect excuse for a test drive. So I'm gonna go do that and see how this thing's running. I'll report back here in a little bit. Alright guys, so startup was successful this time. It helps when you plug all the wires in, I guess. And took it for a little spin. Everything was great, just like it has been all along with the Fab 9 tune on it. I can't say enough good things about Brian's work over there at Fab 9. This thing runs phenomenal on that tune. It's such a night and day difference. So yeah, as you can see, or as you saw, this is a pretty straightforward install. I just tried to keep the lines clean and out of the way and hidden as best I can. And we'll see if it makes any difference. I plan on checking it, at every oil change. I think the instruction said something about every 5,000 miles. So for me, that's every oil change that I'll drain that and see what kind of gunk I collect from it. So I'll probably do a follow-up here in about a year because it takes me about a year to put 5,000 miles on this thing. Maybe we'll see. I got a couple events that I want to go to this year. I want to go back to Miata's at the Gap and the Miata reunion down in Atlanta. So those are both pretty good road trips. Maybe I'll hit that 5,000 mark sooner than I thought. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks again for tuning in and watching another one with me. I've been really enjoying this. I'm going to come up with another little project here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and paint the valve cover wrinkle red. So that'll be next. I need it to warm up a little bit before I do that. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it if you do that for me. That'll really help keep things going here. Thank you much. Appreciate it. Until the next one.